Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome. Oh, welcome back to my channel. I'm Patrice, and this is my embellished life. It's Worktober 2024, you guys, and I have a special pattern review for you guys today, and that is New Look 6470. So, if that's something you're interested in, let's get in it. So if you have been keeping up with me with my last video, you are all aware of what Worktober is all about. But if this is your first video, welcome. Welcome to my shenanigans. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't leave me hanging over here. Anyway, focus back. Worktober was created by Alexandria Arnold over on Instagram, and it was just a challenge for you to sew up your workwear, however that may look like for you. So since I wanted to upgrade my wardrobe challenge, and I do a deep cleaning this time of the year in my wardrobe anyway, I said challenge accepted. So this sewing pattern, New Look 6470, this was actually one in the sewing plans video, and I executed it. This was actually the first one that I did. And I have some things to say about this pattern. Let me start off by saying I like the outcome of it, but I don't love it, to be honest. And I don't think this is a pattern that I will sew again. I have quite a few shirt dress patterns in this style that I can definitely choose from. And I'll tell you why. But let me just show you the dress and the fabric. So in the sewing plans, I showed you this fabric. Yes, it was cotton shirting fabric, black and white print. Oh, I love me some black and white. Anyway, yes. So the original plan was to make the entire dress using the print pattern. And I cut out all the pattern pieces in the print, let me tell you. But when I tried it on the first time, after I connected the front and the back parts together, I said, no way, no way. Mm-mm. I had to break it up a bit. So this is where the color blocking came into being. I had to see if I could replace one of the front panels, and I did it with a black cotton shirting. I also replaced the collar with all black, and I did the yoke as well, and the ties, the tabs as well. And I said, okay, as well as the flap, just to break it up, just to break it up. And I'm like, okay, I can live with that. I can definitely live with that. Ah. Anyway, now the reason why I said that I like it but I don't love it. First of all, this pattern tricks me. She tricked me. I did not expect this pattern to be 12 pattern pieces. Now let me go back to this pattern. New Look 6470, like I said, it's a short dress pattern, and it has multiple views. And the views actually differs in length. So length being the shortest being a shirt or a top, a blouse, and then you can go on to the longest being a dress. So I did view B, and I'm like, okay, I love the length and everything. I wanted the sleeves, I wanted the tab. This was what I wanted exactly. I was thinking maybe five, well, not even five. I was thinking maybe 6 or 7 pattern pieces. But when I got to prepare the pattern and I'm seeing 12 pattern pieces, I'm like, what is this? But I was so already invested in the pattern. I said, you know, Pat, let's just do what it do, and let's just cut it out and be on the merry way. So I did cut out all of those pattern pieces, and some of them, like I've mentioned before, I had to end up cutting it twice just to break up that pattern. So I did do some adjustments. Well, first of all, I had to do a fitting adjustment, which was my previous tried and true. I didn't want to do the Nancy Simon's pivot and slide method on this dress just because it had a yoke. And like I said, I wanted to crawl before I walk. So I opted to grade between sizes around the armhole area. For this one, I wasn't really too bothered about the neck, but the armhole area, yes. So I graded between a 16 and an 18 for the entire dress. So 16 in the arms, grading it out to the 18, and then 18 was for the rest of the dress. So that is what I did. The other adjustment that I did is that because for this dress, I don't think, no, not I don't think, it didn't require a split. If you look in the other views, there's actually a split in the other views, especially view D, where it's a high split. So it's like a tunic kind of dress. But for view B, you had the option of closing it up. And I didn't want to close it up entirely, so I just went 6 inches from the edge and I left a split open on both sides. And I am absolutely loving it. I did love that decision that I made. Now, in terms of the seam allowance, I did use 5/8 7 inch, which was no problem. In terms of the fit overall was great, but I did had just a little bit of tightness, just a tad bit of tightness underneath the arm area. But it's livable, it's workable. I can definitely work with it. I can live with it. So yeah, but that's the only thing about this dress. Now, in terms of the difficulty, I think the pattern is the average pattern. It is the average pattern, but it's easy to put together. Let me just say that it is somewhat easy to put together. It's easy to put together. I just didn't enjoy all of those pattern pieces. And also, I just find that there was just a lot of finicky instructions. I just didn't like it, especially for the parts. Like if I can let me undo one of the sleeves. For the sleeve, there's the part in the tab where you have to sort out this tab. The tab, you had to finish the end of the sleeve. And I didn't like those instructions. And I'm like, these instructions are so exhausted. And I didn't know if it was because I already didn't like that I had to do that. I was blindsided with 12 pattern pieces. I think that just added to my frustration with it. I think that was it. But some of the instructions, I'm like, oh my goodness, why am I still here sewing up this dress? Yeah, so that was just my thoughts about it, but it wasn't difficult to put together. It was not at all. So even though I would give this pattern maybe a 3.5 out of 5, just because of my personal reasons, it wasn't nothing to do with the pattern, so to speak. But I definitely know there are other patterns out there with that same design. I do own quite a few of them in my stash because I do love short dresses that I can definitely rely on for this pattern. But all in all, the dress did came out beautifully. I am happy that with the decision that I made to actually do some color blocking. And I think it was the perfect material for me for for work. Usually in this type of dress, I would usually do it maybe in chambray, linen, or denim. But this type of material just made it extra workwear appropriate. And I actually wore this dress today to work, to be honest. This is the one that I wore today. So now that I'm filming, I'm going to put it in the wash as well, which is unusual for me. I usually film before I wear, but it is what it is. I I like the dress. Like I said, I don't love it and I don't think I'll be using this pattern again, but that should not deter you from making this pattern. One thing, the last thing I would mention about this pattern is that I should have made the distance between the buttons closer together, because even though it fits and it have the amount of ease, because of the distance of the buttons, it has that gaping in between that I don't like. So I definitely have to go back and apply snaps between each of these just to alleviate the situation. The never ending drama with this dress. But that's the last thing that I'll do, and then I'll call it a day. But yes, I'm happy that I did make it. This was one of those in the sewing plans for Worktober, and I'm happy that I was able to execute it. So, new look 6470, done and dusted. Thank you so very much for joining me today as I talk about my sewing shenanigans with New Look 6470. While you're here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also follow me on Instagram. Look, I know that I've been lacking, dragging my feet lately with my Instagram, but yeah, just still go. Just go. You'll be surprised that I put up some things over there. But anyway, yes. I hope you have a lovely day. Enjoy the rest of the week. Think lovely thoughts. Keep on smiling and always remember to make beautiful and wonderful things. All right, lovies. I'm out of here. Bye.